Hello, and welcome to this edition of You and the Law. On You and the Law, I discuss issues of law for the benefit of everybody in society. My name is Ekemi Nudim. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm always glad to know that you are there keeping me company on this channel. At the commencement of 2022, I did a video on the fundamental rights to life. And I said that I am going to discuss all the fundamental rights inherent in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in subsequent episodes of the program. I did also say that the total number of fundamental rights in the Constitution of Nigeria is 12. So we have 12 fundamental rights in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I'm going to do 12 videos on each and every of the fundamental rights. This is the second of the videos I am doing on fundamental rights. Now, what am I discussing today? I am discussing the fundamental rights to dignity of the human person. This is the second fundamental right in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What's the section of the law that makes provision? What's the section of the Constitution that makes provision for this fundamental right? The answer is simple. It is in section 34 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what does the right to dignity of human person imply? What does it mean? It simply means the right to treat a fellow human as a human person, the right not to treat someone as if he's an animal, the right not to torture a fellow member of the human society, the right to give the pride of place and dignity of man to man, the right not to subject man to punishment that is unacceptable to civilized society. Remember the days of the emperors, where the emperors could deal with their subjects as they wanted. Remember the days of slave trade, where human beings were sold as commodities and then clamped into rickety boats and so on, and then chained with their hands chained to their backs and so on. These were actions later considered to be degrading of the human person. And so the right to dignity of human person is the constitutional right provided to guarantee the right of man, to guarantee the dignity of man in society. Most religions in the world have accepted the fact that man was created created by a superior being. They've also accepted the fact that man was created in the image of the Creator. And so the argument is taken further to say that man, created in the image of the Creator, should not be subjected to degrading treatment, should be given the dignity of the image of the Creator that he has in society. So it all depends on the religion that you believe in, but most of the leading religious organizations in the world have agreed to the fact that man deserves to be given dignity. Man deserves to be treated. Human beings deserve to be treated as humans and not to be treated in degrading and unacceptable ways. The laws have also accepted. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has accepted by making this provision for the treatment of human persons in society as human persons and not as animals and not as inanimate things. The African Charter has also made this provision respecting the right to dignity of the human person. The Universal Declaration on Human Rights have also made this right applicable to all human persons without borders across the world. Now, before I proceed, let's look at exactly the language of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on these very rights to dignity of the human person, after which I will continue with the analysis and then the conclusion on this issue. Section 34, sub 1 of the Constitution provides, as you can see on the screen, every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person, and accordingly, A, no person shall be subjected to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment. B, no person shall be held in slavery or servitude. C, no person shall be required to perform forced or compulsory labor. So, as seen on the screen, the exact language of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it principally prohibits the torture of human persons in society. So the police, they are not allowed to torture. Yes, do your work, apprehend the criminals, but don't torture anybody in your cell. don't torture anybody in the course of their apprehension. Army, the same thing. DSS, the same thing. Civil defense, the same thing. And so no one is allowed to torture a fellow human in society. If you do that, you have offended the law. You have offended the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The second mention is the fact that no one should be subjected to slavery and servitude. I have already said that in the years past, so many people from Africa were sold out in slavery and taken to plantain plantations in West Indies, and also taken to other plantations in parts of Europe and America. And they were treated in very inhuman and degrading manner. Some of them were not even allowed to wear clothes. Some of them were chained to stakes and so on. They were barricaded and not allowed to move freely and so on. This is clearly prohibited in today's constitution in Nigeria. If the forebears were to be alive today, the chiefs of those days were to be alive today and still embark and still engage in the sale of human beings, slavery, they would have been arrested, they would have been on the wrong side of the law, they would have been doing things in breach of the fundamental rights of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in particular the fundamental right to dignity of human persons. The other mention is forced and compulsory labor. The Constitution means that no one should be subjected to forced and compulsory labor. If I'm to do any labor, it should be something that I have accepted to do. It shouldn't be because I have been compelled to compulsorily do the labor. Any compulsion to do labor amounts to a breach of the fundamental rights to dignity of the human person of anybody in Nigeria. Labor should be out of free will, and labor should be for the benefit of the person that is working and also for the benefit of the employer, but it shouldn't ever be by force. Now, these are the indices, the breakdown about this fundamental right to dignity of the human person. And everybody in society is expected to give these respects to every other member of society. So, the police is expected to respect everybody, the army, the DSS. Now, individuals are also expected to respect the dignity of fellow persons in society, because the impression sometimes is that it's only the security agencies that have the responsibility in law to respect fundamental rights. No. Individual members of society also have a right, an obligation to respect the rights to dignity of other persons in society. Now, what I have discussed is the general rule, and I have said it is applicable under the Nigerian Constitution, it is applicable under the African Charter, it is also applicable under the Universal Declaration. So, an American who comes into Nigeria enjoys that fundamental right in the Constitution of Nigeria, and if the Constitution of Nigeria is silent on his fundamental rights to dignity, he is covered by the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. Any African citizen from another country, African country that comes into Nigeria is covered by the provisions of the Constitution on the respect to the dignity of that person. If he is not covered, the African Charter on Human Rights covers him and then stops any abuse of his right on the soil of Nigeria. And so it's a global thing. It's a right without borders, and everybody is expected to respect this right. Now, to every general rule, there are exceptions in law. Most general rules, let me say so, there are exceptions in law. So what I have analyzed represents the general rule on the rights to dignity of the human person. There are exceptions. In Section 34, Sub 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the exceptions have been itemized. And so, any exercise that is required of cadets in military colleges, police colleges, DSS college, and other institutions where aspirants to the military, to the security forces are being trained. And so you are made to frog jump from one place to another. That exercise in the military school, which is part of your training, is said not to be a breach of your fundamental rights. So, you cannot maintain an action against the army for the particular training that you have been made to go through. The second exception is any training that forms part of the educational attainment of Nigerian citizens. what really comes to mind here is the National Youth Service Corps. National Youth Service Corps, by the act creating the NYSC, is compulsory for all citizens of the country that have graduated from tertiary institutions. Ordinarily, it would have been a breach of the Constitution to make the exercise compulsory. But by section 34 sub 2 of the Constitution, this is an exception to the extent that the NYSC program or any other program that is made part of the educational training of Nigerian citizens is not seen to be a breach of the fundamental rights of the citizens of the country. I did my National Youth Service Corps in Osun State. It was compulsory, but I cannot maintain an action against government for making it compulsory because the Constitution has made this an exception. And many other citizens of the country that have passed through this scheme, they cannot maintain an action against the federal government of Nigeria or against NYSC as an institution for forced and compulsory labor because the Constitution has excluded this. So these are the two major exceptions to the general rule that no one should be forced to undergo anything, no one's right should be infringed upon, and all that. So basically, what I have done here is to let you understand the fundamental rights to dignity of the human person. It is available to everybody, irrespective of race, irrespective of religion, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of color, irrespective of anything. It is a right available to everybody. I am entitled to the right to dignity of my human person. You are entitled to the right to dignity of your human person, and no one is allowed to take away this right without an affront to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the Constitution is a superior document. The Constitution also has a similar provision to the international conventions on the protection of the fundamental rights of persons across the globe. And so, everybody should rightly be informed that there are boundaries in law, one of which is that you shouldn't disrespect the dignity of a human person. If you do that, you fall on the wrong side of the law. Thank you very much for watching this very episode of You and the Law. I do hope you continue to watch You and the Law and follow up with other episodes on fundamental rights. I do also hope that you have subscribed to the channel, but if you have not yet subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. The benefit here is that when you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, every video that I load to this channel, you will be notified so that you can quickly go watch and learn as much as you can from the basic principles of law applicable under the Nigerian legal system, applicable under the countries in Africa, and also applicable to other countries across the world. The intention here is that everybody should have an idea of what the law says on basic things in society. I remain your friend, I remain your lawyer, I remain your host on this channel. Ekemini Udim is my name, and I encourage you to continue to keep me company on this channel. Thank you very much and remain blessed.